This is an introduction in how to use WC Online to schedule appointments and also to check your schedule and manage your tutoring. So to get to WC Online, you want to first visit our webpage, which you can get to either directly by going to our URL, northampton.edu/learning center, or you can go to the Northampton webpage, click on Student Services, and navigate to the Learning Center. From there, look for the orange box that says Schedule a Session, and click that. If you don't already have an account in WC Online, register for one by clicking on the Register for an Account link. From there, enter your name, any name pronunciation, your email address. Be sure to use your northampton.edu email address for this. It won't work with a personal email. Your telephone number, your student ID. If you're a staff member, use your staff ID instead of the student ID. Then choose a 10-character password. From there, you can choose your options if you'd like to receive email notifications or other notifications from the system. You also can receive text messages from the system as well. To receive those, enter your mobile number with no dashes or other punctuation and select your carrier. Then choose Email Robot and create an account. To sign into WC Online, simply enter your email address and your WC Online password. You can either choose your schedule from the list down here, or you can log in and choose once you're inside the system. If you log into the Start page with the instructions, to choose your schedule, go to the Schedules menu and select the schedule that you are looking for from the list. In this case, we'll choose the Bethlehem Writing schedule. When you log in the first time, you'll notice a Find an Appointment feature. We really don't use that very much here in Learning Center, so you want to change to Calendar View. To do that, go to the Area Tools button and select View Calendar Display. This will show you a complete grid of all the appointments that are available on a calendar view. Let's talk about how to schedule an appointment. For the most part, your students will schedule their own appointments, but there may be times when either if you're a student as well, you may want to schedule an appointment with a tutor, or you may need to help a student with the process of scheduling an appointment. To schedule an appointment, choose the time that's available. Available times appear as white boxes. We're going to schedule an appointment for 2 o'clock with Carl. If you're scheduling an appointment for yourself to meet with a tutor, your name will appear in the client field, and you can go ahead and keep that there. However, if you are making an appointment for a student, you want to select the student's name. In this case, we'll say Sam Test, and then choose the student's name and email from the list. From there, you'll see a bio of the tutor and the appointment information. One thing also to remember is appointments can be 30 minutes or 1 hour. So if you'd like to make a 1 hour appointment, select the full hour, so the end time will be 1 hour later than the beginning time. Otherwise, it will default to a half hour. Then choose the course designation, course number. In some schedules, it might just have one field for course, so that varies from schedule to schedule. Also, the professor's name. We give students the option of whether they would like to share their information about their session with the professor, so they can either choose yes or no. So if you're scheduling for a student, be sure to ask them and get their preference. You can also include the student's professor's email if it's known, what the student wants to work on, and students can upload files, including any drafts of an assignment they're working on or any assignment instructions from the professor. Then choose Create Appointment. One thing that's important to keep in mind when you're tutoring is to always have WC Online open, whether you're tutoring on campus or online, to make sure that you're aware of any changes in your appointments. You'll notice under My Appointments a list of any upcoming appointments that you have, so you can check that. You can also see your appointments on the grid with your name as blue boxes. When viewing appointments in WC Online, we have a color code system that tells you what type of appointment it is or whose appointment it is. These yellow-orange appointments are your appointments that you have as a student with a tutor. The blue appointments are appointments that somebody has with you or with a tutor you see listed on the schedule. There also are placeholders which can be used to reserve a time without actually counting towards appointments for the purposes of tutoring. And those are perfect. After you've met with your student, be sure to complete a session report using the client report form in WC Online. To do that, you would click on the appointment and then go to Appointment Tools and Add New Report. From there, you make sure that your name appears as a staff resource. You also want to record the actual length. So let's say the appointment was scheduled for 15 minutes, but it actually ran 20. You can choose that as well. Then you can choose the course that it is for. So for example, let's say this was Accounting 101. Then be sure to include your comments for what you did in the session. A couple things to take note of when you're filling out a session report. This can be visible to the student and also to other tutors as well as faculty. So anything that's shared with you that is of a confidential nature, you don't want to include in the session report. Also, anything that is subjective or evaluative does not go in the session report either. You want to stick to the facts. So what did you work on? What did the student achieve during session? Is there anything that the student set as goals for future sessions or things that the student wants to work on in the future? These are notes that you can then refer back to later if you meet with the student again to remind you of what you would discuss with the student in the prior session. You have several options in terms of who receives a copy of the session report. I would recommend sending a copy to yourself, a staff resource. You also always want to choose client. That way the student has a copy in their email of what you worked on during the session. If the student tells you that they would like to send a copy to the professor, you can put the professor's email address in here. If you're using more than one email address, separate those email addresses with a comma. And click Save Report. So what if your student has given you a professor's name but doesn't know the professor's email? You can look that up. So if you go back to northampton.edu, go to the search box and type faculty directory. From here, you have a full list of all our faculty. You can filter this based on subject area or discipline. So let's say I'm looking for an accounting professor. That'll shorten the list, and perhaps Janine Metzler is the professor the student has, so you can click on the professor's profile, and you will see if you click on view email, the professor's email address. WC Online also offers some administrative options, such as looking up a student. So let's say, for example, you want to look up your prior appointments you've had with the student. You can put in the student's name and search, and this will show any prior appointments that the students had. You can also, by the way, see the session reports you wrote before in the appointment window. If you go on previous session reports, they'll show as well. Another helpful tool is the product manual. So if you have questions about how to use the software or certain features, you can actually search within the manual, or you can view the manual by clicking on the link to view the manual. And it's broken down into chapters which cover various topics, and each of those has additional information. After you complete your day, you can log out of WC Online by clicking the logout button. Again, if you have any questions about using WC Online, reach out to your coordinator, me, your assistant director, or another member of the Learning Center board team.